Hello everybody, and welcome to my first ever UFO 50 tier list. Last episode we got the every cherry clear, so I'm gonna do a couple of tier lists, one for how challenging games are and one for overall quality. Should I go them in order, or should I go in tiered order? I think I'll do tiered order. I might turn the volume down on the music a little bit. There we go, that's a little better. Alright, so let's start out with Magic Garden S tier. And I'm gonna be giving my reasoning for each of them. Magic Garden is just so fun. It's kind of in the same boat as Velgris, where really short, arcadey, really replayable, really fun, just really solid games. Devolution also goes in that tier. Oh, Mooncat is great. Avianos is also great. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I think Block Koala gets a S tier. I get that, according to some people whose streams I watch, Block Koala is not very good, but I don't know, it just feels like right. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit on OBS. Oh, Camouflage, yeah, that's another S tier. Should I rank them by how much I like them within their tiers? Camouflage was just straight up my favorite. It's just so satisfying, like, changing directions. It's like a stealth game, but since every puzzle is like one screen. I mean, some of them have scrolling screens, but it just feels very approachable. And unlike a lot of the other games, it's very forgiving. When you die, you don't really go back at all. So it just feels kind of like a fun time. My only complaint about Camouflage is that it's too short, and I consider that to be, you know, the pinnacle. If you come away from something saying I wish there was more of it, that means you really like that thing. I don't know where I'll put that yet. Big Bell Race S tier. Well, Warp Tank definitely is. I like Big Bell Race. Star Wasper, Kappa. That is not going in S tier, I can tell you that. I'm figuring out which games to put in S tier. Okay, this is clear bias, but Onion Delivery goes there. One of those games that's really brutal and just like you hate to play it. But then when you get good at it, you're like, okay, this game is kind of fire. Same thing for Party House. Rail Heist. Oh, this one's kind of hard. Does this go in S or great? Is everything gonna be S? Perhaps. Yeah, I think that's S tier. Pin Golf. Put that right next to Camouflage there. Vanger, yeah, that's S tier. Oh, I forgot to put Mortal in S tier. What am I doing here? Get in there, buddy. Mortal 2. Yeah, Hyper Contender, that goes in S tier. Rakshasa, of course. You know, I think Grimstone, you deserve S tier, yeah, sure. Night Manor. Oh, Alphazar's Hat and Minimax, those are freebies. Pilot's Quest? I don't know. This is not Campanella 3. Tier list, please. I think they do both go in S tier, actually. And Cyber Owls. Okay, now I'll go in order. Lords of Disconia, 100% S tier. Hey. Yeah, hey, Zaptrap. No influencing my tier list here. Barbuda. I might say Barbuda. It's kind of hard to decide. Oh, Bug Hunter, you can go in S tier. Ninpeck? Yeah, Ninpeck gets S tier. Alright, a Tactics. Is it Tactics great or good? I like it. just not quite on the same level. I think I'd put it in great. Yeah, Golfaria I'd put in good. Porgy. Should Porgy go in Matt? I like Porgy. It's just so annoying to play. It has like no quality of life. It just feels like such a time waste type of game, but also it's really cute. I think Meh is where it belongs. Same for Zoldat. Alright, let's populate bad, now that I'm thinking about the bad games. I'll put Val Racing good. It's maybe a little bit charitable. Let's see, Paint Chase. I think it's in the middle of these two. I'll put it in Meh for now. I might switch some of these around. That's another one in between good and great. I think I'd put it in great, honestly. It's not quite S tier, but it's pretty good. Okay. Big Club's another easy F tier. Campanella 1. I like Campanella more the more I play it. I think it goes in great. You know what? Fuck it. Big Bell. I like Big Bell Race more than Campanella 1. Which is funny, because this is like a 5-minute game, and this one adds so much more stuff in it. But Big Bell Race is just more fun. That game is easy. This isn't the difficulty ranking, this is the quality ranking. You know what? I should put that on screen, actually. Hold on. Quality tier list. There we go. It's kind of too close to the edge. There we go. Yeah, I think Pilot's Quest is a meh. The game is too easy to be fun? I disagree. Yeah, that's where that belongs. Barbuda's the hardest one to rank, man. Did I like Barbuda? It's interesting. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's above bad. It's satisfying to, like, map it out in your head. But then there's just such a, Thank you, Kirk. There's such a, like, steep difficulty, like, I don't know, spike or curve or whatever, at the very end section where you have to get 500 to open the door. And I could only find 450. And that kind of killed it for me. I think Meh is where it belongs. Take a sip, alright. Overbold, I like Overbold. Barbuda would be better. I think going slow is kind of the point of Barbuda, especially because it's the first game. Campanella 2. Yeah, this list looks right. Alright, I'm gonna go over every game individually and why it deserves its tier list. And Twitch chat, if you want to make any changes, you know, you could suggest them. So I'm gonna rank it. Do I get these in the right order? So worst game will be on the right. So Combatants being there is probably gonna stay. Combatants, it's a very interesting game. There's a lot going on, but it's really frustrating, especially at the start. Combatants S tier, says chat? Okay. I will no longer be looking at chat for the rest of this video. It's a game where you're pretty much forced to cheese it because the AI is just so god-awful. People might say, oh, lore reasons, because Tao Nomura was being annoying, so they said, let's make a bad game, because Tao Nomura is bad. It's still bad. It's better once you know the cheese, which is just leave one ant alive and then you just respawn and run at the ants and keep dying. The level design in it is pretty good. Not much else to say about it. You also move really slowly in that game, just like Barbuda. Alright, Star Wasper. This is a game that just has too much on screen at once. It's kind of like, give me all of your attention for 20 minutes. You're not allowed to blink. You're not allowed to look at your phone or whatever, which I don't do anyways while I play games, but it's just like, it's just too hard. And the stages are so bad, especially the rock stages where there's 10 trillion asteroids. It's just so bad. Like, the art isn't bad, and I like the boss designs. You know, the egg system is kind of similar to Elphazar's hat, but Star Wasper just sucks so much. So these two are definitely not changing spots. Fistel. You know, it's like a classic Scott Pilgrim type game. You know, Scott Pilgrim on the SNES. No, that was on the Xbox 360. That's the only other... what are they called? Beat-em-ups, I think? That's the only other beat-em-up I played. But it's just kind of annoying to play. Feels like you die too quickly, everything knocks you down. And then once you get good at it, you're just like, oh, I just stand below them and punch and no one can ever hit me. And the throws are just really weak for no reason. You play as Amy, the character that starts with strong throws. You can't even kill the green zombies in one hit. Like, it takes so long to throw. They should at least one-shot weak enemies. I mean, don't make them one-shot bosses, but let her one-shot weak enemies at least. The balancing is just all over the place. Yeah, Fistel definitely belongs in bad tier. Alright, Rock on Island. This one I might change. Rock on Island is honestly a pretty decent game that just, going for the cherry is so annoying. And, like, the learning curve is crazy. Rock on Island is terrible? Yeah. Like, if you look at Bloons Tower Defense 4, which I consider to be the best tower defense game, and like how long rounds are in that game, like the last level I think is like an hour or something. It's so big and it lasts like way too long. Especially when they wait to introduce like the fly enemy until like wave 10, and then you realize that like, oh, I lost a life, now I have to restart. And you're pretty much forced into using the chicken bake strat, where you use 2 campfires to cook a chicken instantly, or else you're like dying on economy. yeah, Rock on Island is pretty bad. Divers, that's another easy bad tier. I don't think that's moving. Cute art, the swimming, like, circle of light around you and everything else is dark, I think that's a really cool idea. I really like how the game looks, but the actual combat is just super duper boring. Chickens are only needed on the last level even for Cherry, but still. Yeah, I know I saw someone on the Discord that was going for a no chicken playthrough. And Divers is just so grindy, like, even if you look up type weaknesses of the final boss or whatever, you still have to grind to a high enough level. It's just so slow. The only thing it has going for it is the kind of charming resurfacing thing. It really just feels like playing a worse version of Porgy, which I already don't really like that much. I like Porgy, I just hate the 10 years of backtracking. Alright, Hotfoot, that's another easy bad tier. This could be good! Very easily, it could be moved up 1 or 2 spots. But the AI is awful. They don't jump to avoid beanbags. They, like, get stuck on things, like the bananas. And the AI is just, like, pretty bad. But the opponent AI is good, which I really hate. It's the same thing with combatants, where the opponent AI is just way better than yours. And that's considered, oh, that makes it harder, but just makes it awful. Especially the last couple rounds are god-awful. And there's no good reason for it to send you all the way back. I think if you lose, you just get booted back. Whereas, like, Hyper Contender, which is a harder game... Where did I put that? S tier. Hyper Contender, the harder game, lets you have a retry. Yeah. Hotfoot and Combatants, it would be so easy to make them better by just fixing the AI. But I guess that's how they wanted to make it. Hit Club is another game. It's not bad. I mean, it's bad. It's in the bad tier. But it's not bad in the early levels. But just the absolutely dogshit difficulty spike in USA World. It just goes from being like a decent to fun game to just awful for no reason. They just fumbled. That's a football reference for those of you that don't watch sports like me. They just fumbled it. It's so awful. Like the football, that one enemy that bounces the football off the wall, and like they bounce so weird, and there's no tells when they shoot a football, it's just immediate. It's so bad. It's so bad. Thinking back on it, I'm just getting angrier at it and wanting to move it right more. But I'll leave them in numerical order. Actually, no, I'm gonna arrange them. It's not worse than Combatants. I'd say it's on the same level of bad as Star Wasper. Fist Hell can be fun. USA World. It's hard putting... Yeah, I guess of all of these, I'd rather play Rock on Island the most. This list looks about right. So Rock on Island is the best, and then Fist Hell. And then Divers, and then Hotfoot, Kick Club, Star Wasper, Combatants. I'd probably rather play Combatants than Star Wasper. Congratulations, Star Wasper! You get the worst game award. Alright, next up, we got our meh games. Let's see. Everyone agree with the bad ranking? Anyone think any of these deserve to go up to meh? Before I move on here. Going through the S ranking is going to take a while. You like Planet Zelda? Ah, that's an S. Alright. We'll go on to the meh ranking. So first up, we got Barbuda, which is, it's pretty meh. I like the atmosphere of it. I like the walking around, the slowly mapping stuff out, but again, it just has that awful difficulty spike at the end. I probably could have figured out that puzzle with the ABBA thing if I just like took a screenshot of one of them, but I was kind of zoning out. I do like that the devs allowed multiple solutions, because there's the invisible ladder, there's paying off the NPC to get through the door, and then there's the puzzle that gets you the key. And you'd think with 3 ways to find it, I would have figured one of them out, but I don't know. It's just a shame when it feels like there's no way to progress, and you have to look up a guide. This was the only one where a guide was necessary. I think I used a guide for, like, Bow Brace, but that was pretty much just because I needed to know the cherry. Barbuda doesn't have enough solutions, and the cherry fruit is lame. This isn't the cherry difficulty ranking, that'll be the next one. But yes, I agree with that. I think 500 is just too steep. Because I was stuck at 450 for so long, I couldn't find the last, like, 50 I needed. 500 is brutal. Because you have to spend so much on, like, items. Maybe I could have skipped some of the items. You're able to find 500? I probably, like, spent money on trash or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been too long. But yeah, Barbuda's pretty meh. It's kind of a neat game, because there's so much in it, especially for a first game. And I like the beginning section with the acid drops. I thought that section was pretty cool, and the secret lava pool I liked. Is trash a trap item? I don't think the community has found any use for it. Yeah, I like the early game section, it kind of sucks when you have to look stuff up. So I think that belongs in meh tier. Next up, Paint Chase. This is another game where it just has this really strange difficulty curve, where I think it's like level 10 or something that's really hard, and then level 22. It's like really weird. I might be saying the wrong levels, but you probably know the ones I'm thinking of. The Pac-Man cutscenes, they're pretty cute. I like the actual gameplay of it. It just feels too strict. And the cherry is, like, brutal. But this isn't the cherry ranking, this is the quality ranking. Yeah, Paint Chase... it's just kinda unfun. Kinda unfun is exactly how I describe Planet Zelda as well. It's kinda interesting the first time you play it, is the same Barbuda, like, learning curve. I feel like death should just send you back to your ship or something. It seems a bit mean to have to make you restart the whole run and lose all your items. It is a relatively short game, especially compared to Barbuda. I don't mind the cherry either, I think the cherry is very reasonable. Some of these have brutal cherries, like... well, I'll make that tier list later. Yeah, this deserves meh. Maybe even pushed down to bad. Yeah. Porgy. Porgy's a very cute game that just... it limits the item slots too much. It forces you to go down and then up and then down and then up. I like that it gives you, like, the treasure finder later on for when you have to go for 100%. But even so, that still takes up an item slot. I think they should have given you at least 2 more item slots to make it be playable. I don't know, it's just such a time grind just doing the same thing, going down and then going up and then going down and then going up. I guess it's not that dissimilar from, like, Motherlode, but Motherlode you don't have to deal with 10 billion enemies and managing fuel. Motherlode is just mining. Yeah, it just kind of feels like a Motherlode ripoff. The bosses aren't that special. The fact that their health doesn't go down after you go up and refuel means you can kind of cheese them. But, like, I don't know how you would do it without doing that. And the bosses are just kind of annoying. Yeah, Motherlode is the old Flash game, which I actually like quite a bit, but I don't like Porgy. Anyways, Pilot Quest. This one I could move up, actually. I like Pilot's Quest. It's an idle game. I like idle games. I like Cookie Clicker, and I like Zelda, so you'd think a combination of the two I would like more, but... yeah, it's another one of those that's just kind of grindy. It's another one where I hit a roadblock where I just couldn't find the last place to go. Like the last ship piece or whatever. I didn't find the big spider for a long time. And then the final boss, you have to kill it like 10 million times. I don't know why. Oh, Mooncat is playing, it's just really quiet. I thought YouTube, like, stopped playing the music. You know what? I'll crank it up to full, why not? Yeah, the Pilot Quest, I mean, it has some cool ideas, but just not that special of a game. So I think Meteor actually works out for it. Let's see here. I'd say Barbuda is more annoying than Zoldat. Yeah, this looks right. So Barbuda's the worst, and then Paint Chase, then Zoldat, then Porgy, then Pilot Quest. Alright, next up we got our good ranking. Does anyone have any thoughts on Mag Games? Anything that should be up or low? Above or below? I'll listen to your pleas. Alright, no please it looks like. So now for our good ranking. Campanella 2, that's another game where you just don't really have enough health. And dying is just such a blow. But it gets better the more you play, like Onion Delivery, so I wouldn't put it in Matt tier. I think good is where it belongs. Overbold, this is another game that's really hard to get into, just because of the initial difficulty rush. I like the variety of builds you can go for. I like the raising the stakes whole mechanic. I like the strafing, I like the shooting, I like the enemies. Huh, maybe I do like a lot of things about this game. I really don't like the final boss, though. I feel like the final boss kind of discolors my ranking of it. It just feels so unfair that you see this new boss so late, it spawns a trillion enemies, it flies around the screen, shoots projectiles, and the enemies that it spawns explode, and you're still dealing with the other enemies. Oh, now it's way louder, okay. These were not, like, equalized at all for this playlist. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, the Overbold, kind of fun, annoying ending. Yeah, good. Good is where it belongs. Alright, next we got Bushido Ball, which is what's playing right now in the OST. Bushido Ball is fun. I don't know if I've ever beaten it legitimately. I think this is another one where the AI is just a bit too cracked, especially in round 6. It feels like they just think too fast. I mean, NES games had some brutal AI, but this one, it's like you have to hit it back and forth like 30 times per round. All UFO 50 sound effects playlists. I just searched up UFO 50 OST. It works. Yeah, though I'd put it in good. You know, it's fun. But yeah, the CPU AI is just too brutal. I don't think I've ever beaten it without cheesing it. Maybe one day I'll try to do that. Val Brace. This is another fun one. This one's really long. I don't like that the cherry condition is so easy to miss. I don't know how I feel about the whole respawning on the last floor. I kind of wish it told you that it was saving when you switch floors, because I didn't know that the first time I played. And I don't think it saves when you're like mid-floor. I think if I found the map scroll, I might put it higher. Valbrace is like Valheim, so god tier game. Cosine 2 sussy. I don't know. I like the combat in it. I like the bosses. I like the vibes. I like the art. But, yeah, I don't know. First-person games like Etrian Odyssey, where you can't see the whole map. At least in Etrian Odyssey, you can see the full map. They made the map like a spell, so apparently you can see it. I couldn't figure out how to activate it, though. You have to, like, do left, right, up, down, I think, or something. It's weird. The way the map spell works. Or it's like left, right, up. Wait, so you played the entire game without map? No. I used Steam Guide. Because I got so pissed off. And I didn't want to have to play it twice, because I wanted the cherry. Yeah. I mean, I did play the first 2 floors legitimately, and then someone in my chat was like, "You missed the cherry, you're going to have to reset." And I was like, fuck this, and I switched games. I probably wouldn't have used a guide for my first playthrough and just kept that going if that guy didn't show up. Maybe in that universe I would have appreciated the difficulty. I don't know, the difficulty of like not remembering where things are. Albrace gets way faster in subsequent playthroughs. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Red Knight. I like how you can give him stuff. I like the art. I said that, I think. I like the gem puzzles. It just feels like the floors are a little too large. Because it's highly knowledge-based, yeah. The floors are too large. I don't really like that you're capped on experience, and that you have to find, like, some throne to use your experience. And even though it saves, you still lose experience if you save and quit. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's like how you lose your lives in Galaxy, even if you have like 60 lives. If you turn off the Wii and come back, you have like 5 lives or whatever. It's like, I know I had those lives, game. I know you have a save functionality. Use your save functionality. Anyways. Valbrace. Yeah. I like it, but it's just... it doesn't fit my brain the way that you can get lost in it. Quibble Race. This is another one of those really short games like Big Bell Race. It's kind of fun. There's not much actual gameplay. It's just, do you trank up your Quibble or do you not? It's a little basic, but I could see it being fun in multiplayer. But in solo, it's just kind of something you do for 5 minutes. Doesn't really feel like anything super special. But I can't say that I hate it. Actually, if anything, it probably belongs in meh, but... yeah, I'll put it in meh. Better than Piles Quests. Alright, and then Golfaria. This one I put in good. This is another one with a really harsh start, because you only have 20 strokes. And it feels really oppressive, because you try to get around, and then, like, you just die. You think Quibble Race's cherry should have been win streak instead of just getting 10,000? Yeah. But this isn't really about the cherry requirement, it's more about quality. Golfaria, that's another good one. I like the upgrade system, I like the enemy parbots, I like the lore of it. I still don't really understand the lore of it, but I like it. I like games that are a little vague. I like that super secret room I found. Yeah, Golfaria, it's a fun game. I think it really needed the treasure checker from Porgy. Even if it was just, like, vague. Like, imagine something like, The Room with Humans. Oh, did you not find that? If it had something like the Wind Waker beam of light that you see in the water, and then when you get close it goes away. Like, if it had an arrow pointing in the direction of treasure, and then when you get close it goes away. Yes, you found that? Oh, nice. I like the final boss. The ending section with the final boss is a little bit janky. But I like the world of Golfaria, I like the upgrades, I said that already. But yeah. Golfaria is just a very good, solid game. Yeah, so I think it's the best of the goods. Alright, now we do the reorganizing. Out of all of these, which would I rather play? This looks pretty accurate. Bushido Ball, mainly for the speedrunning, and not for the playing it, like, normal. Golfaria, Campanelle 2. Although Campanelle 2 is a little shorter, I'd probably rather play it again over that. Overbold Valve Race. Yeah, that looks about right. Alright, great. We have Waldorf, Campanella, Caramel, and a Tactics. We're getting closer to the S tier. Waldorf's Journey. This one's great. I really like Waldorf. You fly around, you get fish. You get upgrades from the Puffin. Just a really fun game. A little frustrating. Going for the cherry is kind of annoying, but that doesn't affect the quality tier list. That'll be the next tier list. Yeah, Waldorf. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I like Waldorf a lot. Alright, Campanella. This is another great game. A lot of one-screen puzzles. You have to manage your fuel, look for the secret coffee. Just kind of a classic game. It's very similar to Warp Tank. You know what? Maybe I should give it S tier. I like Caramel a lot. Not Campanella. Yeah, Caramel, it's pretty good. Space shooter game like Star Wasper, but they made it good instead of bad. you know, easy mistake to make. Oh, it's playing Campanella because I just put in S tier. Yeah, the Caramel is pretty fun. I like the photography aspect to it. It's just kind of a good, solid game. So, that's where it goes in great. Same for Tactics, that's another good, solid game. Not quite S tier. It's fun, but it kind of wears thin. Top tier music playing right now, yeah. Yeah, a Tactics is kind of a slog at the end. But when you're starting out and learning it, it's fun. And it just kind of goes on a bit too long. Actually, so does Rail Heist. Rail Heist belongs in great. Rail Heist also goes on too long. This music reminds you of Table Salt. Huh. Alright, so we got Rail Heist, Waldorf, Caramel, and a Tactics. I actually like this order. I think Waldorf goes above Caramel, but other than that, this order looks right to me. Alright, last, the greatest games, Camouflage Pin Golf tier. Alright, we got Campanella, which I already said is just a great game. I'm trying to think of any complaints of Campanella. Maybe just that some of the coffees are annoying. There's that one part where if you don't know where the coffee is and you hit the switch, you're soft locked, you can never get that coffee. Which is kind of a big fail. Making it impossible to get the coffee. It just feels kind of mean. But other than that, I mean, maybe they didn't know that that would do that. Although they designed it that way, they would probably know. Especially because it's so late, it's like World 2 or 3, I think. I don't know, that's the only really lame part of it. There's also that part at the very final level, before the final boss, where you have to go... It's a really thin room, you have to go all the way to the right. This is the exit point. You have to go above the exit without hitting it, and then go here. And then you have to go all the way back. You can't hit the exit, or else you can't get the coffee. And then you have to go all the way back, get the coffee, and then go all the way back again. That level feels cruel. It's at the very end too. Imagine choking there. I'm so glad I didn't, but... That's just so mean. Mean-spirited. Kind of in the same way Barbuda is. But other than that, Campanella is very fun. Alright, Cyber Owls. That's another game I just played. Cyber Owls is pretty great. You know, my cherry kind of colors how I view of it, that I look a little bit more down on it, but the Metal Gear Solid parts are fantastic. The Chicago, that level is just amazing. I really like the gameplay of that. I wish Fist Hell was just the same as Chicago and Cyber Owls, because they're very similar, but the way Cyber Owls handles it is just so much better. But I am biased towards side-scrollers over top-down games. And then there's the on-rails one. I think the on-rails one would be better if you had, like, light guns or whatever. But I get that they had to work with the controller restriction. Yeah. Oh, and then there's the biking part. Biking part is kinda neat. I don't know. That part's not great, but the rest of the game is very good. I do like the bike part. It's just, yeah, it's not great. But overall, I'd say it's pretty S tier. The way it combines all the character sections, I really like that. Like, this could have been 4 games, and they would have all been good. But instead they decided to make it all one game. The only other complaint is that you don't get retries. I think they should let you retry, at least if you get to Act 4, let you retry that part. Act 4, Act 2, what am I saying? If you get past the first 4 missions into the big mission. I think they should let you retry the second part. There's a cheat code, but you only get that after you clear credits, so it's like, what's the point? Anyway, Seaside Drive. Should I read this as Seaside Drive or as Campanella 3? They're kind of the same game, honestly. I see why you would confuse them. Alright, let's just pretend this says Campanella 3, and I'll talk about Campanella 3 first. Campanella 3, really fun. It's like a 3D game, but it's 2D. It's a shooter. It's fantastic. Really brutal bosses. The cherry is weirdly easy, but that doesn't factor into anything here. Yeah, really solid, really fun game. Really good art. I think this is honestly one of my favorites in the collection. And then Campanella 3, aka Seaside Drive. That's another just terrific one. You know, you have to keep going left and right to keep your charge up so you can do your big damage bullets. There's 10 trillion enemies on screen. But unlike Star Whisper, it's not really annoying about it. It's just like, yeah, there's a bunch of enemies. Deal with it. Star Whisper is like, there's a bunch of enemies, plus a bunch of obstacles, plus a bunch of G's and E's, and you have to collect them in the right order, or else you lose your score. And if you die, you lose all your drones. You know, Seaside Drive, it's actually like, you beat the level. Here, I have a bonus level where you can get extra lives, so it rewards you for doing well. Kind of like Gungeon. But yeah, Seaside Drive, just really solid game, really pretty art. I think this is one of the best looking games in the whole collection. Seaside Drive, it just feels like a labor of love. Definitely one of my favorites. Alright, Mini and Max. This is where we're getting into the really, really good stuff. Mini and Max is one of the most fun games. It's kind of a slow-paced platformer with a bunch of drama. It reminds me a lot of Chibi Robo. Mini and Max, easy S tier. This is one of the best games in the collection. This is honestly, if you're buying the collection and you only play one game, make it this game. Or Alphazar's Hat. Like, these 4 and Cyber Owls, these 5. These are so ridiculously good. But Mini and Max, you shrink yourself down, you go through all the levels. And the level is just like one big hub world. And when you get smaller, it gets bigger. The characters are great. The quest lines are great. I think this game, if it had like a quality of life, Majora's Mask, Bomber Journal style thing, it would be one of the best games ever made. I mean, it's already really good, but I think it did kind of need something like that. Oh, this is like the theme of UFO 50. It's Onion Delivery. Talk about it soon. But yeah, Mini Max is just great. There's so many upgrades. It always feels like you're making progress no matter where in the world you go. Characters are charming, the art's amazing. You should play Fractal Block World. It's like Mini and Max, but you go infinitely deep. I'll check that out. Alright, Alphazar's Hat. This, honestly, out of all the UFO 50 games, this was the one I vibed with just instantaneously. It's so good. It felt like playing Kirby for the first time. I'm not even exaggerating. It's that good. It's so solid. You have like an invincibility dash, you have a... Yo, what's up, DJ Giga? You have your shots, you have all the different upgrades to play around with. The enemy placement is just like perfect. I don't think I have any complaints about Alphazar's hat. This is another one that's just perfect. So when I reorganize, this one's definitely going towards the top. Night Manor. This one almost feels like it shouldn't be in UFO 50 because it's so different from everything else. But it's really good. It's got a couple bottlenecks, a couple upgrades that are a little bit too well hidden, and then they're required to get the cherry anyways, to get the good ending. Rock on Island is bad, I'm sorry to break it to you. I am gonna play the Rock on Island mod though, so we'll see if that makes it better. But yeah, Night Manor, really solid, insane take. Night Manor is just a really solid point and click. For some reason it took you ages to find the balcony in Night Manor. Kid Club is fun too. Sorry bud, you're too late. I asked for opinions on bad rank earlier. I'm not changing any of those. Those are already perfectly formatted. Anyways, Night Manor, yeah, really good. Lords of Disconia. This is another one I could maybe bring down to Great. It's fun. It kind of feels like the matches go on a little bit too long. But I do like the game a lot. The core gameplay of bouncing discs around and trying to get big combos is really fun. And then you have like the map section that's kind of like Avianos. And it's all about like strategizing, and Disconia is not S tier. That kind of makes me want to keep it in S tier. Your Lords of Disconia win streak is 24 and no, I'm not addicted. I'll give you props on that one. I'll tap you up through the phone. Yeah, Lords of Disconia is great. Definitely one of the most solid games in the collection. And then we got Grimstone, and I know you're thinking, you hate RPGs, why are you putting Grimstone in S tier? Because it is good. It has, like, you have to grind for 2 hours to get to the next area. You know, it has the classic RPG pitfalls, but the writing, the art, the enemy design, it's all amazing. It's been patched to be harder, apparently, and I think it was hard enough before. So I don't know if I'll say that it's still as good as when I played it, unfortunately, because it has changed. You don't like RPGs as much, but it's a cool Western concept. The heal skill was too OP. Did they nerf that? I don't think they nerfed it. I think they just made it that you can't use it while you're dead, which you wouldn't expect to be able to. It's just kind of weird to make a hard game harder. I don't really see the point to that. I do like that they patch out Bushido Ball's cheese, and then the community just finds a new cheese and then they leave that in. But yeah, Grimstone, just a really solid, fun RPG that's not too long. I think my Cherry Clear video of it was like 16 hours or something. That feels like just the perfect length for it. You put Campanella 2 as S tier? Campanella 2 is pretty good. It's between good and great for me. But yeah, I think it belongs at good. Rakshasa. This one might be kind of controversial. It's a very hard platformer. You have 10 years of landing lag. There's way too many enemies. And yet, despite this, I love it. Is the ending cutscene for Grimstone any different if you get gold instead of cherry? I don't think so. I think I got both endings. But I don't really remember. You might have to look that one up. Rakshasa, it has those different abilities, it has all the secrets that you can find in it. Just a really solid platformer. When I was buying UFO 50, I was hoping there'd be a lot of platformers. And there isn't actually that many pure platformers. There's like Rakshasa and Inpek, Velgress, Mooncat, Warp Tank, kind of. Danger. Mortal 2 kinda. Waldorf. Barbuda. Club. So there's really like 10. Oh, Minimax, yeah, 11. Belgris is similar to Spelunky, so it's a god tier game. I mean, Campanelle 2 is similar to Spelunky, but I just don't like it as much. Really harsh starting difficulty curve, and just feels like unnecessarily cruel. Like in Spelunky, if you fall, you take like 1 damage. In Belgris, if you fall, you insta-die. Not Belgris, Campanelle 2. And you can get used to it, you can learn it, but you'll still just die in 1 hit. Which just feels kind of unfun to die in 1 hit on like the last stage or whatever. Especially just like not telling you what to do at the end. So I died. The first time I went for Cherry because I thought the gate would open, but it never opened, and then the jellyfish ate me. I had to go up. I thought I had to go left and wait for the gate to open, but it never opens. Maybe I am holding that against it. It's still fun to play in a good game. I don't know. I mean, the fuel issue. I feel like there's seeds where you could just not have enough fuel. It is harsh, it's the way old school games were. Yeah, but like Rakshasa is harsh. But if you die in Rakshasa, you can come back. Whereas it feels like in Campanelle 2, if you die, you're just toasted. Like, you can't make any mistakes. And I really like Rakshasa's, like, difficulty curve. I don't feel like there's any bosses that are ridiculously strong. It just feels like one of the best designed games ever made. Alright, then we got Hyper Contender. That's another easy S tier. This game is just so solid. Really fun, lots of different characters, and all the characters are fun to play. Some of them are a bit frustrating, but they're all learnable and they're all winnable. Yeah, that's another really solid game. Especially when you consider multiplayer. Although this list is basically single player, because I haven't played too much. But yeah, very fun. Alright, next up we got Mortal 2. Yeah, that's an easy S tier. Easy S tier. You've got all these different classes to play from, so many ways to approach any given problem. The more you play, the more you map out the castle, and unlike Valbrace, I can map it out in my head because it's 2D and not 3D. Yeah, really fun game. One of those games you just play over and over again and you try to optimize it. Very similar to Mortal 1, except it's just one great big level. Yeah, Mortal 2, really good. Alright, now we got Vanger. This is Super Metroid, but good. I'm kidding, I haven't beaten Super Metroid. I beat Metroid Fusion, though. And I consider that to be one of the best Metroidvania games ever made. But it takes a lot of skill to rival, like, Metroid as a genre. And they did it. Really good bosses, really good gravity flipping puzzles. Really fun to just go around the map and look for secrets and upgrades and stuff. Yeah, just really solid. Maybe a little short, but really solid game. The equipment system also is just genius. Alright, Party House. Why is the last phase of Vanger's final boss the easiest phase? That was a great question. Party House. What could I say about Party House that hasn't been said? It's a roguelike deck builder. With random mode, it's endlessly replayable. Everyone loves Party House, yeah. The cherries may be a bit too hard, but I'm not going to factor that in because this is the quality tier list. Cherry tier list comes in next. Party House isn't a roguelike. Clearly you haven't unlocked random mode. That's okay, you'll get there someday. No, though, the campaigns are great, the characters are great, the abilities and upgrades are great. There's so many different ways to synergize. Roguelike means that it's similar to Rogue, but clearly you wouldn't understand what Rogue is. Excuse me, I played Rogue Legacy. That's the remastered version. Probably better than the original anyways. But yeah, really fun to just crank out random runs and see how far you can go. Alright, Onion Delivery. If you asked me, when I was playing this for the first time, I would have said it sucked. But honestly, the learning curve and the difficulty curve is just kind of perfect. All the different days are hard in a different way. When you go for the cherry, you get like a new appreciation for it. Just a really well-designed game. I just wish the map was like a little bit smaller so that when you speedran it, you wouldn't have to go to... what's that place? Jaffney's or whatever? Or the projects. Those are really annoying to get to. But when you're flying around the city, trying to see how much time you can get, the crate system that extends your timer, that's great. The ramps. Yeah, just a really fun one. You think the rain is unfair? It is. The rain and the sludge are probably the two hardest ones. I think there should be like a circle around your car where rain can't spawn in. I think if they did that, it would make it feel a lot better. But it's still S tier. Warp Tank, what do I have to say about this game? It's definitely up there as one of the best games. The only thing I really don't like about it is the screen scrolling is kind of jittery. I get why it is that way, but it just feels unnecessary. The rest of it is just perfect, though. The whole warp mechanic and the shooting. Really, really fun, really solid game. And the HUD world is so cute, too, in the different outfits. Warp Tank is another game where if it released on its own, I would buy it. Bell Race is easy. I am Big Bell Race's biggest defender. It's just a really fun short racing game. I get why people might say, oh, it's too short, it's not Mario Kart 8 level. But it's just fun. The upgrades are fun, there's shortcuts in most of the levels. And there's ways to schmoove. And if you're a speedrunner, you can find all sorts of weird, cool checkpoint skips. Yeah. This is one of the games I think I got cherry on my first attempt. Maybe a bit too easy, but you can always race yourself. You would love to see bigger levels, yeah. Well, we'll see what the modders do. You know, we've already got a mod for Campanella and Rock on Island, so you never know. And you can make mods yourself as well. Alright, Blackwalla. This one, there's a lot of valid complaints. The character moves too slow, there's too much backtracking. But it's just a... Is there a combatants mod? That makes sense. People would immediately try to make that game look good, considering how many people hate it. But Blackwalla, you know, you get 50 levels, all sorts of different mechanics. This is another one that's kind of hard. you know, if I replayed it, I would probably take the same amount of time to play it as I did the first time. But it's pretty interesting. You know, sliding block puzzles, they've kind of been done to death, so I get why people would be a little bit hesitant to try it out, but there's a lot of fun beneath the surface. This is probably one of the lower ranked S tiers, but it's a solid one. Solid puzzle game. Alright, Mooncat! Mooncat, high five to Eric Serhay. Good shit, brother. This game is so good. It's got that janky control system. People either love it or hate it. But it's a beautiful game. It's forgiving. It's got great secrets. There's really not much to hate about it. You hate the controls of Mooncat. Oh no. But yeah, Mooncat is just great. Great game to get lost in. There's still levels I haven't found, so I do have a reason to go back to it. Finding the different eggs, the bosses are really well designed. There's all that speedrun tech, like sliding and jumping and dashing midair and running. There's a lot you can do in Mooncat. Alright, Avianos. This is another really solid short puzzle game. I like how the different campaigns all feel so different from each other. There's times where like the starting spawn is bad and you just have to restart, which is a shame. I don't know if there's really an easy way to fix that. But other than that, you know, it's a fun strategy game. You can switch up which dinos you want to level up and play with. Yeah, really solid game. Alright, Demolition is another easy S tier. I gotta drink my water, it's dry up here. Ba-dum-ba-dum-bum. Yeah, the Demolition really solid. You make these Rube Goldberg machines to kill as many demons as you can. If you kill them all, you get a bonus, Yeah, bonus villager. I was reading Twitch chat. Avianos doesn't have enough unit or resource types. Also, I was hoping the dinos would be an engine builder system, but they are too simple. Alright, I'll take this point by point. First off, it does not need more unit or resource types. It's perfectly balanced. If you add more, it would just muddle it. You're hoping the dinos would be an engine builder system? I don't understand what that means, so I'm going to ignore it. Alright, next up we got Velgris. This is another S tier short platformer game. Collect the coins, kill the birds, get to the secret level. Bye bye bye. All the really good upgrades. Really solid fun game. Death sends you back to the start, but runs are so short you don't really care. And the time in between runs is like 0. Same for Magic Garden. Both hugely replayable, a lot of fun. The only real downside to Velgris is just that the star blocks are a little bit too rare for speedrunning. I kind of wish they would up the rate. Although I get that it's like the same logic as Spelunky teleporter runs, where you don't really go for teleporter runs every time. But it'd be nice if there was a speedrun mode that gave you a bunch of star blocks, although I could see that being too easy. But yeah, solid game. Mortal 1! That's another heavy hitter. The early games are so solid. So you sacrifice your guys to get to the end of the level, and then once you get to the end, you realize, oh, I need to get 75 guys. So you go back through every level and you optimize it, and the optimization is just so much fun. There's so much you can do with, like, you can arrow and then drop as a stone and then arrow and then explode. Yeah, really fun game. So many ways to tackle each puzzle. Yeah, definitely one of the best games in the collection. Magic Garden. This is another one I really love. I think YouTube auto-paused. Cringe! Anyways, Magic Garden, it's great. Collect the oppies, drop them off. Really fun to speedrun. I'm sure they're fun to score on as well. I had a lot of fun score running it for the cherry. Yeah, it shows that Snake isn't a bad game. Snake is a very good game. And more people should do Snake likes. You know, avoiding your tail, avoiding the enemies, trying to get the good potions. Level up the bad potions. Drop off enough oppies. See how fast you can do it. And how much points you can get. Hugely replayable, hugely fun. Ninpeck, this is another short one. That's really, really good. Now, Ninpeck, you run around, you jump, you shoot shurikens. When you die, you turn into a ghost and you're invincible for a little bit. But watch out when you come out of ghost form, because you're getting obliterated if you're over an enemy. So don't think that you can ghost frag them or whatever. Like the teleporting and Spelunky. But yeah, Ninpeck, really fun, really solid. Multiplayer for it is great as well. Yeah, nothing to hate about this game, just really fun. When you get to that loop 2 and you get like 10 trillion lives for free, it's just so nice. The octopus boss is genius, the way the platforms appear like just barely above the water. And you have to sort of deal with all the spawns while dodging and while getting in damage. You know, if you speedrun, you just turn into a ghost, but yeah, really solid, really well-designed game. It's the third game in the collection, too. It's like, wow. And now Bug Hunter. Now we're getting to my top 3 here. Bug Hunter, I liked more than Party House. Or, I liked Party House more than Bug Hunter, but then I played more Bug Hunter. And I realized this game is goated. It's so ridiculously good. And the fact that you can just keep scaling and like going on these super high streak runs, and it just gets harder and harder, but you understand more and more, so each time you get a little further. You know, you start out, you can move left, right, and up, you can shoot left, right, and up. You get 2 attacks and a few moves. And then slowly over the course of each day you upgrade and you get better and better stuff. And you can just wreck house on it. Now, Bug Hunter is a roguelike, yeah. I doubt most of the people that play roguelike know what rogue is. Maybe one day I'll play it. I think it's just like ASCII art in that, though. I don't know if I have the patience for it. But yeah, Bug Hunter, endlessly replayable, super solid game. Next up, Pin Golf. This is the game of UFO 50 for me. This is probably tied for my favorite with Camouflage. It's just so well designed. The dunk mechanic is so good. Every level is just so perfectly put together. And you just try to get a cleaner and cleaner run. And the cherry grind, I don't think I've had more fun in UFO 50 than the cherry grind for Pin Golf. You slowly get better, figure out your own strategies for each stage. It's just so solid. And then with like speedrunning and trying to see how low you can get your max strokes and stuff, there's a lot you can do with Pin Golf. If I had my way, I would pay a team of like 10 trillion modders to make new Pin Golf levels for me. Camouflage is the best game because you are a lizard. Divers is S tier for the same reason. That was a Twitch chatter saying that, not me. Alright, Camouflage, the best game. I've said it every single time, it's the best game. But is it gonna stay in that spot? We'll see when I reshuffle. You walk around, the game is super nice to you. If you die, you're in like the same spot. It's so tricky and yet so approachable. I don't know if I'd say there's many ways to do each level. There's probably like a couple different variations. But it's all about like planning and, oh, I can get this color and then I can go this way. And I can get this and then I can try to get to the baby. And then I have to turn this color and then sneak on through, duck behind the alligator. I think this is one of the best puzzle games ever made. Alright, reorganizing time. I'm gonna go by the one that I would least like to play next to go back to. And I think that has to go to Grimstone. Yeah, probably something like that. The music is very catchy too, yeah. Camouflage is great. Well, should I do it by which I'd want to go back to, or which I like the most? I think Grimstone has to be last place. How am I gonna handle Campanella and Seaside Drive because they switch spots? I guess I could just keep them together. They are very similar. Yeah, this looks right. Grimstone, Black Koala, Disconia, Avianos, Campanella, Mortal. Mortal should go a little bit higher. Yeah, Mortal 2 being there makes sense. These two are going higher, I don't know where yet. Rakshasa should be lower. It should be higher. Maybe Devilition next to Block Koala? This looks right. Devilition before Avianos. Okay, this top 5 looks pretty right. Camouflage, Pin Golf, Elfat, Mini, Max, Bug Hunter. Banger is probably better than Cyber Owls. Cyber Owls is better than Mortal 2. That looks right. Should Night Manor be this high? Maybe a little bit lower than Rakshasa. This is looking pretty good. Is this my list? Let's see, Camouflage, Pin Golf, Elf Hat, Mini and Max, Bug Hunter. That's definitely my top 5. And then Mortal, Warp Tank, Magic Garden, Onion, Party House, Nimpak. Belgress, Mooncat, Hyper Contender, Rakshasa, Night Manor. It's kind of hard to compare some of these games. Like, how do you compare Rakshasa and Hyper Contender? They're so different. I think I do like Rakshasa more. Yeah, Mooncat over Belgress. You know, maybe swap Nimpak and Mooncat, actually. Actually put Rakshasa up there. Okay, this looks right. Let's just say this is Seaside Drive. This one, I could probably move up. I don't know though, is it better than Night Manor? Night Manor is such a hard game to compare to anything. I don't know, the rest of this looks pretty solid. Maybe Black Koala below Grimstone. I do like Grimstone. Remember, these are all S tier, so these are all good. No matter where they end up. Now, one last look at S tier. Is there anything that should go to Great? I can't bear to move any of them. Alright. Right, we have a Tactics, Waldorf, Caramel, and Rail Heist. Yeah, these are all great. That feels right to me. Good, Bushido Ball, Campanella 2, Galfaria, Overbold, Valbrace. Valbrace over Overbold. Campanella 2 is better than Bushido Ball. This looks right. I feel like the more I stare at it, the more I'm gonna want to move this stuff, so I'm just gonna say that's correct. Alright, we got Quibble Race, Pilot Quest, Porgy, Zoldath, Paint Chase, and Barbuda. I think I like Barbuda more than Paint Chase. You want Barbuda over Zoldath. Porgy over Quibble Race. Pilot Quest over Porgy. Your only critique is Rock on Island is fun and a lot of people's favorite, but if you don't like it, that's your right. I like it! But it's bad. I could maybe bump it up to meh. Is it the difficulty? It's a lot of things. But that is one of them, yes. It's too hard, the stages are too long. The last stage was like an hour long. Going for the cherry is just so punishing. And unfun. That one level where the flies only spawn on, what is it, like wave 5 or 6? And then they spawn from the place that's like right next to where I was standing, so I just died. And had to reset. The final level is so trial and error-y and gimmicky. I really don't like a lot of what this game does, even though I like tower defense. Yeah, it trolls you, laughing emoji. I mean, Barbuda trolls you, but it's very upfront about that. You know, you're in the first stage and it drops a thing on your head, you're like, okay, I get what kind of game this is. Rock on Island, like, pretends like it's cutesy. Is the final level the volcano? The last level? That's what I've been stuck on, yeah. You haven't even beaten it. You don't get an opinion. Get out of here. Alright, Fist Hell. Fist Hell, Divers, Hot Foot, Kick Club, Combat, and Star Watspur. Alright, this final two is probably right. I think I like Kick Club more than Hot Foot. And Divers. You know what? I think Kick Club is the best of the bad. It was pretty hard on that Volcano level. Especially when you die on like wave 5 or whatever. It was the best of the bad until I put Kick Club above it. I mean, Kick Club is like actually fun. So you could make a case for it not being in bad, but that final world is just so ass. You like Kick Club too? Kick Club is so mad I'm offended by it. You get it! Pizza party time! Oh my gosh. Alright, let me take a screenshot of this. I think this is the final. I'm gonna go post that in the UFO 50 Discord and we'll see what people say. I'll post it in general. Quality tier list for UFO 50. Alright, we'll check in on reactions to that. Why is... Oh, snipping tool is open, that's why. Watch people lose their shit over that tier list. Full send to bad for me, yeah. Alright, now it's time to... refresh. Oh. I don't know how to get it back to where they were. Hold on. UFO 50 tier list. Oh, here we go. I think this is someone else's ranking now. Let's look at their list. Bushido Ball and S? Oh, should I react to the default? Is this the default? Oh, man. Wow. Magic Garden being someone's favorite is pretty base. Bushido Ball... Kick Club? It does say Campanelle 2 at the pick of Seaside Drive. Wow, it took you a while to figure that out. Lords of Disconia and an F. Oh, this is D tier. I think I changed the lettering to something I understand more, so I kept S and F. Oh, I guess this was D originally. Alright, let's look at their A tier. Pingolf, nice. Pilot's Quest an A, that's questionable. Barbuda an A is very questionable. Pain Chase? Corgi? This isn't too objectionable yet. Let's go to B tier. Yeah. I'm agreeing. Alright, Rock On, Zoldath, and Hotfoot. What are you doing in here? Who let you in? Alright, now we're on to C tier. Rakshasa! Rakshasa and Grimtone and C. I'm gonna explode. Alright, Valbrace, Fistel. No! This is rage bait. No sentient human puts Midi and Max in C. What the fuck is wrong with you? Campanella? 3 and D? Or is that Seaside Drive? Who knows? This wasn't made by a human. This wasn't made by a human. This... Alphazar's hat and D. This is rage bait. This is rage bait. I'm not looking at this anymore. Oh, they're still in their spot. I don't know. How do I get a... Are these all the same tier lists? I just want to go to the template but not have it be the same. I guess I could just drag them all out individually. Except for that I can't because that doesn't work. Cool! That was Eggplant Show, shout out to them. Hold on. Maybe deleting tiers will reset the games in them? Oh, you're so right. Okay, hold on. Oh, you're so truing right now. I can't add a tier now. Did I break it? Why is this a thing that they let me do? Oh, there's a fucking reset button! Oh! Pro gamer move, so true. Alright, we're done making the quality tier list. Now it's time for the real one. Cherry tier list. Impossible. Brutal. Hard. Free. Alright. Alright, let's see. Star Wasper. It's probably one of the hardest. Onion Delivery is pretty hard. Yeah, Cyber Owls was pretty hard. I could put that in S tier. Yeah, Combat Ants is pretty rough. I mean, it's not that much harder than the gold. Oh, let me move my cherry tier list down there. You know what? Bug Hunter, it's pretty hard. I don't know if I'd say it's brutal. I'd say it's hard. Ninpeck, that's pretty free. Barbuda. Barbuda's a hard game, but getting the cherry for it is free. Once you get the gold, you know how to get the cherry. Black Qual is pretty free. Camouflage is pretty free. I'd say Pink Elf is pretty hard. They give you a lot of leeway, but it's pretty hard. Pig Chase, that's brutal. Magic Garden, it's alright. It's not really free. It's kind of hard. Mortal... I don't know if I'd say it's free. I think that goes in alright tier. Velgris... It's really not that much harder than gold. Zoldath is pretty free. If you beat Zoldath, you can cherry it. A Tactics... It's kind of just time-consuming. Maybe I'll make another tier here. Wait, hold on. Add a row above. This one will just be time-consuming. How is Combatant Cherry impossible? I don't remember the cherry. It's just beat all levels, right? Combatants is a hard game, though. I guess technically the cherry isn't that much harder than the gold, but just getting there is is brutal. Tactics and Disconia, they're both time-consuming but free. Let's see. Bushido Ball could be on either end, depending on if you know the cheese. If you are just comparing it to gold, it's free, right? I guess. It feels weird putting it in free, though. I don't know. Maybe I should just do a general difficulty one. I guess I'll put in free and I'll do a general difficulty one after. Well, by that same logic, Kid Club is free. Well, it's not free. I'm putting hard. Avion, that's another one where it's just a streak. Minimax, it's kind of time consuming. You have to get a bunch of the shinies or whatever, but you probably have them already anyways. Mooncat, that's the most alright tier I've ever seen. Campanella, that's another one that's just kind of time consuming. You just have to figure out where the copies are. I mean, it's kind of hard to get some of the copies. There's that one that can soft lock you out of it if you hit a lever. And there's the one at the very end where you can just lose if you accidentally hit the exit. But yeah, it really just takes time. You're just flying around aimlessly until you find a coffee on each level. Galfaria is pretty free. It's a little time consuming. This one is the freest for sure. Warp Tank, you just have to beat all the levels, and there's an extra level. Extra level isn't even that much harder. Yeah, I'd say it's just time consuming. Waldorf, I think it'd be in hard. I mean, it took me a few tries. I wouldn't say it's as brutal as, like, Paint Chase. Porgy, that's another time consuming. All the find however many collectibles. Yo, Realistically Positive Man, how's it going? I'm doing a cherry tier list of how hard they are to cherry. What's the caramel condition? Does anyone remember? Oh yeah, it was figuring out how to get to the secret final stage. I'd say that's time consuming. It's not that much harder to cherry than to gold. Hotfoot, that's another impossible one, I'd say. Divers, that's free. Rock on Island, it's another time consuming one. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, you have to snap the letters UF and L. I mean, it's pretty brutal. You can't take any hits. You know, now that I think about it, maybe impossible. Mortal 2, this one's pretty free, once you know how to do it. What is it? You get 50? 50 is a lot of lives. I think I got it my first attempt after getting it. I might have looked it up, I don't remember if I looked it up or not. Fistel, what's the cherry for Fistel? No deaths? That's pretty brutal. Not quite impossible. I mean, there's some annoying parts, but I wouldn't put it in an impossible tier. Overbold. That's hard. It's not really brutal. Camp 2. Camp 2 is pretty free. You just have to go to like 2 extra spots. Just keep dropping off scrolls. And there's like 1 final boss. Actually, I don't know if I ever did the gold route for Campanelle 2. So I don't really have much to compare it to. I think it's just the same though. You just don't fight the boss at the end. But that boss is pretty free. Hyper Contender. I mean, it's pretty hard because you have to play characters you're unfamiliar with. Because you have to win with 4 of them. And Hyper Contender is kind of a hard game. Valbrace. I think I'd put in Time Consuming. If you can gold Valbrace, you can Chariot pretty easily. Rakshasa. Shoot, I do not remember Rakshasa's Cherry. Grimstones is free. Night Manor. It's kind of time consuming. Elf Hat. Elf Hats is pretty free, honestly. If you can gold it, you can Cherry it easily. Pilot's Quest is the definition of time consuming. That goes in first place. Quipple Race. Yeah, that one was pretty free for me. I'm saying that this is Seaside Drive because that's the picture. I know that might be confusing. This was one of the hardest cherries in the game for me. What was the Rakshasa thing? I think it was point space. I had to do like 1 extra run after the goal to get it. It wasn't too bad. The game itself is hard, but the cherry isn't too bad. I'd just put it in... I think I'd put in it free. That seems right. Alright, Star Wasper, that's definitely the hardest cherry to get. You have to deal with looking at your score and, like, trying to build it up while dealing with this impossibly brutal game on top of it. I think Cyber Owls was harder than Onion Delivery. This is looking right. Okay, yeah, so Star Wasper. Cyber Owls, you can't die even once and the game lasts for like way too long for that to be reasonable. Especially when you have 2 HP on the Metal Gear Solid character. And every time you take damage, it takes 2 HP of damage. Seaside is ridiculous. It might as well just be Don't Die, because you can't die, because you need all the points from the bonus levels. It is rough. That is definitely one of the hardest ones. Onion Delivery. It might not seem too bad to have to do, like, what is it, average of 2 or 3 extra jobs a day, but it's hard, especially on rainy days, on hard days. Getting more than you need. I only had like 2 over, I think. Oh, this is Elphazar's hat, yeah. I was thinking this is familiar. But yeah, Onion Delivery, one of the hardest cherries for sure. Hotfoot, you have to win in a blowout each time. There's cheese strats, just like Bushido Ball. I was able to beat this one without cheese strats. I guess that means I should put Bushido Ball above it. And then Bushido Ball, you just look up the speedrun and copy that strat. I made it to the round 6. I don't even remember how many times. I made it to round 6 a lot and could not beat it. And for the cherry, you have to not die. You can't lose ever, I don't think. Like, you can lose a point, but you can't lose a round. And then Rock on Island, you can't take any damage ever for the entirety of the game, and the game is brutal. That definitely belongs in Impossible. I feel like since I had to cheese out Bushido Ball, I should probably put it higher. I don't know though, there's like no cheese for Cyber Owls. I feel like the fact that there is no cheese means that these are harder. Alright, whatever, that looks right. Paint Chase, this one's brutal. Hey, that's the name of the category. Alright, so Paint Chase, Rail Heist, Fistel, Hyper Contender. Paint Chase, you have to get so many points and the game's already really hard. That could be up and impossible, honestly. Rail Heist, you have to start going for all the stars. I think you need 40 out of 60, which is actually pretty reasonable. Especially for a cherry, but some of those later levels are just really hard to get stars on. Fistel, you can't die at all. I could maybe bump that up to impossible, actually. Hyper Contender, you just have to play the game a bit longer, but it's already a hard game. I think these two belong in impossible, honestly. No way Paint Chase is harder than Rock on Island. That game takes so long. Alright, so now we have Bug Hunter, Pin Golf, Kick Club, Waldorf, and Overbold. I mean, that first Bug Hunter 6 streak, it feels like it takes so long. And Pin Golf, as much as I'm used to it now, it is hard. Especially when you're learning. Yeah, this looks right. Waldorf's definitely harder than Overbold. Alright, then we got Magic Guard, Mortal, and Mooncat. Magic Guard, you need like a little bit more points. Mortal, you have to save up your lives. Mooncat, you have to find the extra game, the other 2 bonus eggs. Hard to put Mooncat in hard. It's more like obtuse than hard. Trying to figure out what the game wants from you with the flowers and stuff. Time consuming. Alright, I'm gonna rank these by how long they take to complete. Valbrace is a pretty long game. These ones aren't too long. Oh, Vanger and Porgy, you have to be close to the top. These are pretty interchangeable. You looked at Mooncat Cherry? I think it's all 3 eggs, right? Did I remember right? Avianos, I think that's another streak game. You have to beat the 5 situations, and then I think it's either a streak or there's like 3 more campaigns. So it's pretty much just more of gold. If you beat gold, you can get this, it just takes more time. Party House. I mean, Party House is time consuming, but I'd put it in hard. I don't know if I'd put it in brutal. I think it's both, honestly. It's just so reliant on will the game give you 2 wild buddies at the start, and then you can't make any progress. You can work through it, kind of. You can kind of work through bad RNG, but if the game won't give you your star characters at the end, you're just toasted. And you lose your 4th streak, and I think that happened to me once or twice. You know what? I could even put it in impossible. It's brutal. Mini-max, get a bunch of shinies and find the secret ending. Avianos, yeah, it's time consuming. Campanella 1. I mean, it's hard, but it's not that much harder than gold. In fact, it's easier because you get more lives because you get the copies. Galfaria, it's just find all upgrades, it's the definition of time consuming. Warp Tank, yeah. The final level is not that hard to put it in like a higher tier or a lower tier. Caramel. It's kind of hard to find the letters. The final boss is not that much harder than anything in gold, though. And then Night Manor. You just have to find like that teeny tiny jewelry box, and then you can get the super secret ending. I think it's like 10 pixels or something, if I remember right. Can you see the box that's the same color as the wall? Good job! You get your cherry! Who's a good boy? You are. Yes, you are. Congrats on wasting 2 hours before asking the Discord, and they're like, oh yeah, you just need that box. What do you mean you couldn't see that box? Lords of Disconia. That's just another street game like Party House. But Lords of Disconia itself is pretty free, so this is pretty free. And then a Tactics. You just play rank mode. You basically just have to play more Tactics. If you golded it, you can cherry it easily. And free Ninpek. I mean, the second run through, they give you like 10 extra life. I don't think it's that high. They give you like 3 or something. And then you don't have to worry about those tentacle monsters that shoot at you. You've done Lords of Disconia, cherry 8 times over. Wow, your time has been consumed. Barbuda, you just have to not die on the final boss. Block Koala, you just have to play all the levels. If you gold it, you can cherry it. Camouflage, same thing, you just have to get the collectibles. Belgris, you just have to deal with one more boss, one more stage. Sildath, you just have to be a little fast. If you've golded it, you can cherry it. Combatants. Demolition, you just have to keep some of the villagers alive. I think I did this like right after my gold, if I remember right. This one is the freest. Divers. You basically just get this one for free. Mortal 2. It's maybe a little effort, but if you gold, you can cherry. Campanelle 2. I think I got cherry before gold. Grimstone 2. Elf Hat. I mean, Elf Hat, you have to not die. So it's, like, technically hard. I guess alright tier makes sense for it. Quibrace, just get money. I'm out for presidents to represent me. Oh, it paused my YouTube for a second time. Cool, thank you, YouTube. Seaside Drive. No, that's Camp 3. Yeah, Camp 3 is one of the freest ones. Rakshasa. What was the Rakshasa cherry? Hold on, let me look it up. Hold on, let me find Rakshasa here. Beat the game with a high score. Yeah, it's not bad. Alright, Big Bell Race, Divers, Camp 3. These are all really free. Do I care enough to order these within their tiers? I guess I should. I'm gonna post them on the Discord. Ninpek is definitely easier than Barbuda. Can't die on the final boss, but the screen before the final boss gives you lives. So even if you take damage, you can just refill it right there. Which is pretty free. Black Koala and Camouflage, they just play more of the game. Belgris. Okay, what's slightly harder than Zoldath? What's slightly harder than Camp 2? You know what, let's go from top to bottom, that might be easier. Star Waspers, Cyber Owls, Campanella. That's Seaside, not Campanella. This should be easy to order, because there's 2 things in it. Real Heist is harder than Hyper Contender. Yeah. I mean, Kick Club, when you compare it to the Gold, it's not that much harder, it's just kind of an extra thing to worry about. Score. What song is this from? Oh, it's Elphazar's Hat still. Okay. Overbold. I'm gonna go try my Phantom and BRB. Alright, I'm back. I have my water. Ready to finish this up? Okay, hardest. Ooh, Kick Club, Pingolf, Waldorf, Overbold. Yeah, those are all pretty hard cherries. Alright, Magic Guard, Mortal, Mooncat, Elfhat. I mean, you can't game over. But it's not that hard to not game over in that game. Mooncat could be in time consuming, it's alright. Pilot Quest. I guess I'll order these by how much time it would take. Yeah, these all take a lot of time. Alright, I don't feel like editing this more. I'm gonna post it. And then we got one more to go, which is gonna be overall difficulty. Which I'll upload after this one. Alright, and then after this is all done, I'll go through the Discord and see what people think about it. Reset. Something weird is going on. Why is there no scroll bar on the side? I guess you'll just have to suffer with this, I guess I could just move it down. Oh, but then you see my taskbar. I just zoom in a bit. There we go. That'll work. Impossible. Brutal. Hard. What should I call C tier? So there's impossible games, brutal games, hard games, free games. Maybe just easy? That seems right. Okay. Kind of hard at first, but you get used to it. Magic Garden's pretty easy, honestly. Especially once you understand the potion system. I don't know if I'd say Mortal is free. Both Mortal games are pretty easy. And Belgros is kind of hard. You know, you have to adapt a lot, you have to have quick thinking, but it's not really brutal. Soldath is brutal, it's not impossible. I think that's where it's staying. A Tactics. Oh, this isn't tier list, so true. This is difficulty tier list. Good catch. A Tactics... I mean, it's kind of hard once you start out, but it's not too bad. Probably between hard and easy. So let's just say all these three are in that same camp. Block Wall is pretty easy, though. I wouldn't say it's free. It has some harder puzzles. Was it Puzzle 11 or whatever? It had, like, that weird difficulty spike. But I wouldn't put it in hard. Star Wasper is the king of all these lists. Always in the first place or the last place. Elbazar's hat, I wouldn't say it's free. It's pretty easy though. Cyber Owls is pretty hard. I don't know if it's brutal. Mooncat. Mooncat's pretty free, honestly. You know, you could go with all your puzzling friends, but you're pretty free. There's like a couple of somewhat hard levels, but I don't know, maybe easy makes more sense. Campanella just, it gives you so many lives. Like, it's kind of hard to get used to the controls at first, but it gives you so many lives. Maybe easy makes sense. It's hard at first, but then it gets easy. Warp Tank. Warp Tank has some hard parts. It's probably in the middle of these two. I'd put it in easy, I guess. Porgy, if you just get the right upgrades, it's pretty free. Some of the bosses are a little tricky, but you can take them slow and just hit them once and then heal and then hit them once. Valbrace is kind of hard. It's more, like, annoying than hard. Maybe I should have an annoying... Where would annoying go? Maybe below hard? Let me spell annoying. There you go. Someone in chat can tell me how to spell that word. I mean, this is pretty free, still. Yes, you spelled it correctly. Thank you, chat. Hold on, I got a Discord ad. Let's see. Is it someone complimenting my tier list? Yeah, Onion Delivery belongs at Impossible. Campanelle 2, just the one-hit death makes it impossible, because it's so long. Yeah, Party House is a pretty annoying game. Why is it spaced weird? You know what? That makes it more annoying that the G is hanging. Lords of Disconia. Pretty easy. This is Campanelle 3. Campanelle 3, it's hard. It's not brutal. Annoying G. Caramel Caramel. It's not hard. It's easy. It's easy if you grind. You know what? This is the most deserving of annoying. I mean, Hotfoot, it could be an impossible. It's pretty rough out there. It's another annoying one. You just kind of have to grind. I mean, probably belongs in hard more than brutal. Danger is pretty easy, especially when you consider that you can just go hunting for all the upgrades and stuff if you're having trouble with the boss. And none of the bosses really gave me too much trouble besides the final one. Wait, yeah, Pin Golf is the freest to get the gold for, because you literally can't lose. Pistel... I mean, I don't know if it's impossible, it's pretty cool. Okay, everything looks pretty right here. So Quibble Race, Mooncat, Bell Race, Porgy, and Pilot Quest, and Pin Golf are all free. Because you can just wait, and you can get 5 meat, and it should be pretty easy to get the first ship part. With that. Porgy's pretty free, Big Bell Race is free. Probably Mooncat is the freest because you can't die. Or Pin Golf, I mean. Belgris is easy because the game is only 3 minutes long. So true! So true, bestie. You know what, just for now, I'll put it easy just because you said that. Then we got Quibble Race, it's pretty free. Big Bell Race, pretty free. And this is overall difficulty. I guess I could do, like, gold difficulty. I'll just do overall. I don't want to muddle it. So we got Pin Golf, Mooncat, Quibble Race, Big Bell Race, Pilot Quest, and Porgy. These are all very free to beat. Easy, Minimax, Magic Garden, Wartortle, Wartortle 2, Aqua, Elf Hat. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's still pretty easy. Camouflage, Campanella, Waldorf. If anything deserves annoying, it's Waldorf. Visconia, Caramel. Caramel is pretty easy. The first stage is kind of hard. No, now that I think about it, this goes in annoying. Night Manor. It's kind of annoying just to, like, get around. But it's not that hard of a game, so I think it belongs in easy. Belgress. Belgress deserves at least hard. I mean, you have to think so quickly on your feet. Or else you fall through the clouds and stuff. Alright, and then we got Valbrace, Party House, Grimstone Divers, Waldorf, and Caramel, and Annoying tier. Yeah, these are all kind of annoying to play. Should Caramel be there, though? Caramel is kind of hard. It's not that hard. Maybe like the last place of hard. So what's the hardest of all of these? Probably Cyber Owls. And then... this is Camp 3. It's not Seaside Drive. These 3 are pretty much interchangeable. I'd say Golfari is harder than those 3. Warp Tank. What do I think about Warp Tank? Is Warp Tank harder than a Tactics? You know what, actually out of all these three, Avianos is probably the hardest. Tactics is kind of longer than Devolution, but it's not necessarily harder. I think these two are about the same difficulty-wise. Caramel's a little harder than Real Ice. Okay, then we got Brutal Games. Okay, this looks right. I pretty much just had to move Bug Hunter. Zoldath, Fistel, Overrolled, Bug Hunter, and Hyper Competitor. And then Impossible, we got Star Wasper. I feel like Hotfoot should be higher. And Chase is really annoying. I mean, Combatants... It's probably the easiest of all these, right? Okay, this list looks right now. Alright, I have final tier list. Let me go upload that. Uh-oh, gamers. I paused it at some point. I don't know how much of that I didn't save. Whoops. I'm writing a review now. I guess I'll just read what I have. Very solid game collection, worth it just for Mini and Max. Pretty much every game is amazing, especially the strategy games and the short arcadey ones. My favorite of those being Bug Hunter and Magic Garden respectively. I don't want to make this too long, so I'm just going to talk about my top 10. Camouflage, number 1. Play as a lizard blending into the environment to save your baby lizard and get to your hiding hole. Very fun. Only issue with this is it's a shorter game, around an hour or so. Pinball. 18 courses of golf with pinball bumpers, evens that steal your speed, and barrels that slow you down. Very satisfying to slowly get better at it, and great music. Alphazar's Hat. This feels like a classic game, but new. Top-down run gun with cute characters and fun bosses. The upgrade system is really fun too. There's a lot to experiment with. Mini Max, shrink down to explore a closet and find all sorts of cool NPCs to trade with and do quests for. This one is really long and the world is so big, even though you're tiny little. Allow comments? Alright. Bug Hunter, shoot bugs before time runs out in this turn-based strategy game where you can upgrade your movement and shooting abilities on the fly. Portal, trade your lives for progress and make your way through with as many lives as you can hold. How you do on older stages makes new stages easier. Really fun to optimize. And the current world record for most lives keeps going up with new community discoveries. One of the most fun games to watch. Tank. Explore a strange cave system as a tank that can teleport on command. Shoot the bad guys and find all the secrets. Great music, too. Alright. Now we're on to number 8. Magic Garden... Wait, that's the wrong tab. What if Snake had a bit more depth? Find poppies, slime creatures, Pokemon creatures, and drop them off to get potions to defeat lobbies, blue lobbies. Similarly to Pac-Man ghosts. Lots of fun strategies. Like creating potions by dropping off a lot at once. 9 to be specific. And jumping over enemies slash your obby tail. Alright, number 9. Use Magic Garden at Endless Mode. It does, there's a mod for that. Onion Delivery. One of the most brutal games in the collection, but also very fun to slowly get better at slash learn the drop off locations. Play as an onion taxi, trying to drop off as many onions as you can in the time limit. Each day brings with it new challenges, and you only have a limited number of lives. So be careful. Don't like me and immediately disparage the game when you have trouble. It's worth sticking with it. Alright, last game. Adios. Wait, this is the quality tier list, right? Yeah. Adios. Manage your party and add strong new guests, but be careful to not draw too many wild buddies or overfill your building. Can you get all 4 star guests to show up at once and win? Or are you doomed to have 500 wild buddies? The random mode makes it endlessly playable. So 50 is my game of the year for 2024. Some of the coolest games slash ideas are in this. Pretty much every game has something in it to love. Thank you, devs, for making something so amazing. Alright, if you'd like to see me play this game blind, check out my YouTube playlist here. Might as well self-promo at the end, why not? Oh no. Hello everybody and welcome. I set up the playlist wrong. It's in a reverse order. Oh no. Oh, that's annoying. Well, I can fix that later. Not a self-promo into review. Get owned. Okay. It looks like there's no new comments on this. Oh, actually, I didn't read it out because I didn't record that part. There were some people that were sad about Kit Club being in a bad tier. Someone said Divers is Ultra S and they love Rock on Island. Seems like everyone likes Kit Club. I don't know, it kind of ruins itself with that final level. And my cherry difficulty tier list. Rakshasa is not free. I would put Quibble Race at time consuming. Where did I put Quibble Race? I put it in free. I mean, it's pretty free. Time consuming. I mean, the longest run is gonna be like 5 minutes. It's not that hard to reset if you like choke on the last race or whatever. Is this a Binding of Isaac profile pic? Tower of Druaga? I wonder what that means. Maybe honest show is that time consuming if you know you can reset on bad map RNG. Doesn't that kill your streak though? I guess maybe it lets you do that. Yeah, Grimstone is time consuming. 99% sure to get the cherry, but it's the longest game. There's a tier list command for this. Oh, really? Well, a bit late. I've yet to get the cherry for Barbuda, but I feel like once you know the game, it isn't that bad. Yep. Alright, so I think that's gonna do it for this episode of UFO 50. The tier list episode. That was fun. Yeah, though, neat game. Alright, on the next one, maybe we'll play some mods or something. We'll see. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching.